Here is a number that should make you angry. The top 10% of households in America hold 67% of all the wealth in this country. The bottom 50% hold 2.5%. Now, here is the part nobody talks about. That gap is not primarily explained by income. It is not explained by intelligence. It is not explained by effort or luck or opportunity. It is explained by a single behavioral trap. One invisible pattern that most people fall into and stay in for their entire working lives. A pattern so well disguised that it actually feels like progress while it is happening. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, and more importantly, why the people who designed your financial environment are not in a hurry for you to figure it out. My name is Marcus Cole. This is Silent Strategy, where disciplined minds build lasting wealth. No hype, no shortcuts, just the frameworks that actually work. Before I explain the trap, I need to give you some context, because without it, this will not fully land. Most people assume that the reason they are not building wealth is that they do not earn enough. So they focus on income, they work harder, chase promotions, take on more hours. And sometimes the income goes up. But here is what happens next, and this is the part that behavioral economists have documented for decades. The moment income rises, spending rises with it, almost automatically, almost invisibly. A better apartment, a newer car, nicer restaurants, things that feel reasonable because you can now afford them, and within months, the new salary feels just as tight as the old one. Nothing changes. The number in the account stays the same. The stress stays the same. Only the lifestyle changed. This is not a willpower problem. This is not a discipline problem. This has a name, and it comes from neuroscience. First part of that trap is the hedonic treadmill. The phenomenon is called hedonic adaptation, and it is one of the most financially destructive forces in modern life, precisely because it feels completely normal. Here is how it works. Human beings are wired to adapt to their circumstances. When something good happens, a raise, a bonus, a new purchase, the brain registers pleasure, but within weeks, sometimes days, that new reality becomes the baseline. The pleasure fades. The new apartment is just where you live now. The new car is just what you drive. And the brain begins searching for the next upgrade to restore that feeling. Economists call the result lifestyle inflation. Every income increase is absorbed by new expenses, and the net financial position, what actually stays, barely moves. The trap is not that people spend money. The trap is that the system is designed to make this feel inevitable. Advertising, social comparison, credit availability, one-click purchasing. Every element of the modern financial environment is optimized to capture income increases before they can compound into wealth. You are not weak for falling into this. You are human, but knowing the mechanism is the first step to breaking it. Second part is the system nobody explains. Now here is the part that should make you genuinely angry. 78 million American workers have no access to a retirement plan through their employer. None. And the fraction of workers at risk of not having enough money to retire has grown from 31% to 53% over the past 3 decades, more than half. At the same time, the financial industry generates billions in fees from products most people do not understand and do not need. The complexity is not accidental. A financially literate population is a less profitable population. Nobody teaches you in school how compound interest works against you in debt, only how it works for banks. Nobody teaches you that your spending patterns are being studied, modeled, and optimized to extract the maximum amount of money from your paycheck before it can become wealth. This is not a conspiracy. It is simply how incentives work, and understanding it changes everything. What actually separates people who build wealth? So what do the people who break out of this trap actually do differently? It is not that they earn more. Research consistently shows that income above a certain threshold, somewhere around $75,000 to $100,000 a year, has almost no correlation with net worth growth. High earners go broke at staggering rates. Professional athletes, executives, doctors, people with incomes most of us will never see, financially fragile within years of their peak earning. What separates them is one decision made at a structural level. Before lifestyle inflation can capture an income increase, they redirect it, automatically, invisibly. Before it touches their checking account, they do not rely on willpower. They do not budget obsessively. They change the architecture of their money so that wealth accumulation happens by default, and spending happens with what remains. This is the entire framework. It sounds simple. It is simple, but simple is not the same as easy, especially when every element of your financial environment is working in the opposite direction. Third part, framework. Here is how to apply this practically. 3 structural changes, in this order. First, identify your treadmill speed. Look at your last 3 salary increases. For each one, Write down what changed in your spending: new subscriptions, upgraded car, move to a bigger apartment, dining out more often. Calculate the total increase in monthly fixed expenses. For most people, this number will be shockingly close to the income increase. That is the treadmill. You need to see it clearly before you can slow it down. Second, create a gap between income and lifestyle. The next time your income increases, whether it is a raise, a bonus, or a side income, commit to redirecting at least 50% of the increase before it hits your spending account. Not after. Before. Automate the transfer the same day the income arrives. Your lifestyle never sees that money. Your net worth does. Third, redefine your financial identity. This is the part that nobody talks about because it is harder to sell. The hedonic treadmill runs fastest in people who derive status and identity from consumption, from what they drive, where, and where they live. The people who exit the treadmill tend to have shifted their identity toward net worth, financial autonomy, and long-term optionality. They do not need the upgrade to feel successful. They feel successful because they are building something invisible, something that compounds. That shift does not happen overnight, but it starts with understanding the trap. And you now understand it better than 90% of the people around you. Let me bring this together. The financial trap keeping most people broke is not income. It is the automatic, invisible absorption of every income increase by an expanding lifestyle, accelerated by a financial environment that profits from your spending and benefits from your confusion. The exit is structural, not motivational. You do not need more discipline. You need a different architecture. Redirect before you spend. Automate before you decide. Build before you upgrade. One number to remember: 50%. The next time your income goes up, redirect 50% of the increase before your lifestyle sees it. That single habit, applied consistently over a decade, is worth more than any investment strategy, any stock pick, any financial product someone is trying to sell you. Wealth is not a destination. It is a direction you commit to daily. Before you close this video, I want to give you something concrete. Understanding the trap is step 1, but understanding without action is just expensive entertainment. So here is your 7-day plan to start structurally exiting the treadmill. 1 action per day, starting today. Day 1. Map your treadmill speed. Open a blank document or a piece of paper. Write down your income 3 years ago and your income today. Then write down your fixed monthly expenses 3 years ago and your fixed monthly expenses today. Rent, car, subscriptions, regular commitments. Subtract. Calculate how much of your income increase was absorbed by lifestyle. That number, whatever it is your treadmill speed. Most people have never done this calculation. You just did. That alone puts you ahead of 90% of people around you. Day 2. Find the invisible subscriptions. Go through your last 2 bank statements line by line. Find every recurring charge you forgot you were paying. Streaming services, apps, memberships, things you signed up for during an income increase and never canceled. Cancel at least 2 today. Move that money automatically to a separate savings account. You adapted to paying for them. You will adapt just as quickly to not paying for them. Day 3. Name your next income increase. You do not have a raise yet. That is fine. Today, you are making the decision in advance. Write this down. The next time my income increases, by any amount, from any source, I will redirect 50% of that increase to a separate account before my lifestyle sees it. Sign it if you want. The decision made in advance is worth more than the willpower summoned in the moment. Day 4. Calculate your real net worth for the first time. Write down everything you own that has financial value: savings, investments, car value, any assets. Add them up. Then write down everything you owe, every debt, every balance, every liability. Subtract one from the other. That number is your real financial position, not your salary, not your lifestyle. That number. Write it down and date it. You will track it monthly from now on. Day 5. Identify your biggest treadmill driver. Look at your spending from last month. Find the single category where lifestyle inflation has hit hardest: dining out, clothing, housing, entertainment. Not to judge it, to see it clearly. Ask yourself honestly, did this category increase because my life genuinely required it, or a binding disticast or my creep, or because my income made it possible and the environment made it automatic? That question, answered honestly, is worth more than any budget app. Day 6. Open the separate account. If you do not already have a savings or investment account that is separate from your everyday checking, open one today. Name it something specific: wealth account, future net worth, Freedom Fund. The name matters because it shifts the psychological identity of that money. It is no longer spare cash. It is the gap between you and the treadmill. Day 7. Make one thing automatic. Pick one financial action from this week and automate it. A recurring transfer to your separate account, even if it is $25, a scheduled debt payment above the minimum, anything that removes a daily decision and replaces it with a system. You are not building willpower, you are building architecture, and architecture compounds just like money does. 7 days, 7 actions. The treadmill has been running your entire financial life. This week, you start running it. If this made you think, send it to someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.